So friends, today's story begins with a military man named Popov, where he used to serve in the military, but we see that now his service is over. That's why he returns to his home to live with his wife and children, and now he was looking for a job. After returning to his city, we get to know the name of his wife, Thini. Here we get to know that he had just got engaged to his wife, after which he went to the military and he promised her that when he comes back he will definitely marry her. He had come back, but before getting married it was necessary for him to find a good job. We get to know that his wife used to work as a mat worker and she had been doing this work for years before he left. By doing this small job, Thini had saved a lot of money. Paco decides that he will not work until he gets a job. Paco decides to rent a room instead of staying in his quarters, after which Thini quickly finds a rented house for him to live in. Now in the next scene we see that when Paco reaches the address of the rented house, he meets the landlord, whose name we come to know as Luisa. After reaching here, Paco tells Luisa about his house. He asks about the room, but Luisa tells him that she has only a bedroom vacant, so she rents out the same bedroom to Paco. Paco had less money, so he agrees to this. After staying here, Paco likes this place a lot. Now after the night, we see that Paco comes to meet Thini and tries to get close to her in a casual conversation, but Thini refuses to do so because Thini does not want anyone to touch her before marriage. Now here, when Paco is with Thini, his major comes there. We come to know that Thini used to work in the house of this major. Here his major tells Paco that you will have to find a job for yourself soon. Apart from this, he says that there is a factory nearby where I can request you for a job. Now we see Paco goes to that factory to work, and we see that Paco gets a job in that factory. Now when Paco works in the factory for a few days, he realizes that this work is beyond his capacity. He cannot do this work for long. Now we see that after getting off from work, Paco goes to his room, where he finds out that the house is now locked because Luisa was not at home at that time and there was no other key of that house which Paco had, so Paco has to spend the whole night outside here. Now when it was about to be morning, while Paco was sitting here, by then Luisa comes to her house and she wants to spend some time with Paco so that she can know Paco well. Actually, we come to know that when Paco came to Luisa's house for the first time, then Luisa gave him a kiss. After seeing him, she was attracted towards him. That is why she wanted to come closer to Paco by any means. Now Luisa realizes that Paco is very lonely and upset. That is why she takes advantage of the opportunity and tells Paco the truth about her heart, after which she tries to get closer to him, after which Paco is also unable to control himself and both of them start getting intimate here. After this night, we see that a relationship starts between these two, and we see that for a week Paco stays with Luisa and does not go to meet Thini. After seeing this, Thini feels very bad that why is he doing this to her. Thini did not know at this time that Luisa has come in Paco's life. Now here we get to know something about Luisa, where we see that she runs a small shop, but under the guise of that she is a businessman, she also meets people from the underworld, and Luisa also involves Paco in her illegal business. At first Paco did not know anything about all this, but when he gradually comes to know the truth, he scolds Luisa a lot. But when Paco says something like this to him, Luisa comes close to him and makes him forget all his words. She gives him a kiss and makes him happy by getting intimate with him. Now after a long time, we see that when Christmas festival comes, Paco goes to meet Thini, and here Paco meets Elvira and Major. Also this whole family was going to a relative's house, due to which only Thini and Paco are present in this house. Now when Paco reaches Thini, Thini does not talk to him because Thini was very angry with him because Paco had come to meet her after a long time, after which Paco makes Thini meet him by making many excuses, and now Thini also starts celebrating Christmas with him. Now here Thini tells Paco that if you are not getting a job, then I can open a shop for you with my remaining savings. After hearing this, Paco is very surprised that from where did Thini earn so much money from such a small job. Now while talking to her, Paco tries to get close to Thini again, but Thini still refuses him, after which Paco's mood gets spoiled and he gets angry with Thini and leaves from there. Now after reaching Paco's house, Luisa gets very angry with him because Luisa did not want Paco to meet Thini. Now after seeing Luisa's attitude, Pac tells her that now he thinks about her all the time and now he does not even go to meet Thini much. Now after some time, we see that one day when Pac is roaming somewhere with Luisa, then suddenly Thini also comes and collides with him. Here the way Luisa behaves with Paco, Thini understands that there is definitely something going on between these two. That is why Thini scolds Paco a lot about this. Now Luisa also gets very angry with Paco because Luisa feels that Paco spends more time with Thini, but Luisa is not able to stay angry with Paco for long and their romance starts again. Here we see Thini, who was getting very worried about Luisa and Paco. That is why she tells everything to her landlady, Elvira. Now after seeing Thini very upset, Elvira consoles her and explains to her that if you want to get your Paco back, then you will have to attract him. Elvira knew very well that Thini is a simple and good girl, but Thini was now ready to do anything to get Paco, after which Thini agrees to Elvira and goes to Paco. Now Thini, she waits in front of Paco's house for Luisa to come out so that she can meet Paco. Now getting the chance, Thini enters Paco's house and meets Paco. When Thini comes in front of Paco, Paco sees that Thini has completely changed and he is quite surprised to see this. After this, Thini starts trying to seduce Paco, and during this time she finally gets intimate with Paco. Now when their romance ends and Thini has to return home, Thini does not go home but waits for Luisa to come there. Now when Luisa returns to her house after seeing Thini, she understands everything that what had happened between them till now, due to which she becomes very close to Paco. Paco gets angry here. Paco tries to make Luisa understand that she is trapped in him and is going to marry him, but Luisa does not listen to him at all, due to which Luisa gets angry and goes to her room and locks herself. And even after Paco tries to lock her, she does not open the door, after which Paco writes a letter for her that he is going out of the city for some work. He tells that he is taking Thini to meet her mother. Here we see that Paco takes Thini to her mother. Here Thini lies to her mother that she had married Paco a week ago. After hearing this, Thini's mother becomes very happy and she immediately goes to give this good news to the whole village. Here Thini's mother feels that Neat is very happy with Paco, but nothing like that happened. Even though Paco was with Thini, he was thinking about Luisa all the time because he had started loving Luisa truly. Now when some nights pass, Thini starts feeling that Paco has no interest in her, and thinking about this she starts crying all the time. Now after seeing Thini very upset, Paco explains to her that he is not sad for Luisa but for his work. Now we see that after some time, when Paco returns to his room, he sees that Luisa is very upset. He thinks that maybe she is upset because he left her, but after Puss asks him, he comes to know that the people of the underworld have done a lot of wrong to Luisa and have also demanded money, and now Luisa is asking for loan from everyone to pay the money of the underworld. Now even though Paco did not have a single pence, he explains to Luisa that she needs some money, won't even let it happen. Now to escape from all this, Luisa tells Paco a plan in which she asks Paco to marry Thini so that after marriage both of them can run away with her money, and Paco does the same. He goes to Thini and tells her that they will get married as soon as possible and leave the city and start a new life there. Masuni gets convinced by Paco and also tells her Major about the marriage. After hearing this news, Elvira and Major are very happy, after which Praveen shifts to a new city with Pac. Now when both of them were traveling in the train, Teresa thinks that her savings may get stolen, so to save it she gives all the money to Paco. Meanwhile Teresa also talks about Luisa. Here she says that Luisa had just made a mistake, but she is not wrong, but Travis is completely against this. She was unaware that Luisa was also in the same train. Now when Paco comes to know that Luisa is accompanied by people from the underworld, he is very shocked. Now after reaching home, Paco goes out on the pretext of work and sits outside the church and thinks whether it is right to betray Teresa. Now after thinking for a long time, he goes home and goes to Trey's house. He takes some money from the savings and leaves Thini sleeping there and goes away. After a while, when Luisa comes to him, she tells him that we will take the trainee to a local bar, and the person to whom we have to give the money, the trainee will give the money to the bar owner, after which both of them will run away from there. But here he gives all the money to Luisa and says that I will stay with Trevor. After hearing this, Luisa gets very angry and starts leaving from there by throwing the money. Now after seeing the money in her bag, the trainee understands everything, and Paco also does not hide the truth from her and starts telling her his and Luisa's plan and tells her that he has started loving Luisa. Now after hearing this, the trainee starts telling Paco to go to Luisa and tries to kill herself with laser by locking herself in the bathroom, but at the same time she is unable to do so. Time comes and saves Paco and says that he will not go with Luisa. Now when Thini and Paco go out, it starts raining. Then Thini says that I know I might kill myself, and Thini tells him that you are with me because you think that I might harm myself, but Thini did not want to live anymore, due to which she tells Paco that you kill me, after which Paco kills Thini with a knife and leaves towards the station. As soon as they reach the station, Luisa is in the train and Paco tells her everything from outside and shows her the pain in his blood. He shows his hand, and in this way both of them decide to live together, but after 3 months the police catches them and they get punished for their deeds. And this is what the story ends here.